What if I told you that in our hyper-connected world, we're navigating a complex minefield of social rules that no one explicitly taught us, yet we all implicitly understand and enforce? These aren't just mere etiquette guidelines or legal statutes. They represent an invisible architecture governing our digital lives, dictating what's acceptable, what's desirable, and what's absolutely forbidden. Fail to observe these silent directives, and you might find yourself ostracized, publicly shamed, or simply misunderstood in ways that have real-world consequences. But what exactly are these powerful yet unspoken digital taboos? And how did they come to define the very fabric of our modern existence, shaping our interactions and even our deepest desires? For centuries, taboos have served as essential societal guardrails, shaping human behavior, maintaining social order, and defining collective identities. They are the forbidden, the unspeakable, often deeply rooted in shared beliefs about purity, power, and the very structure of community. From the intricate rituals of ancient civilizations to the strict codes of Victorian modesty, these unwritten prohibitions have always reflected a society's core values, its collective anxieties, and its aspirations for an ideal self. However, the arrival of the digital age didn't just transform how we communicate. It fundamentally reshaped the very nature of taboos themselves, introducing a new, often bewildering set of restrictions and expectations. The internet, initially heralded as the ultimate bastion of free expression, boundless connection, and democratic dialogue, inadvertently created entirely new battlegrounds for the imposition and enforcement of social norms. The unprecedented scale of anonymity and global reach, combined with the chilling permanence of digital records, gave rise to categories of forbidden behavior that were unimaginable just a generation ago. The traditional boundary between public and private dissolved with startling speed, and with it, the safe, private spaces where certain desires, thoughts, or actions could once remain unspoken. Now, every post, every casual like, every fleeting comment became a potential public declaration, subject to immediate and often relentless scrutiny from an invisible global audience. Consider for a moment the intimate realm of relationships. Once a primarily private domain conducted within a close circle of trusted individuals, intimacy is now frequently played out under the watchful, judging eyes of vast digital communities. This leads to a cascade of complex questions. What precisely constitutes cheating in the digital age? Is an intense emotional connection formed entirely through online messaging as taboo and as damaging as physical infidelity? Or what about the subtle yet powerful, unspoken expectation of achieving social media official status for a relationship to be truly recognized? These incredibly nuanced questions, which barely existed a generation ago, vividly highlight the inherent tension between our innate human desire for deep connection and the arbitrary, often unstated, rules of modern digital discourse, challenging our very understanding of commitment and loyalty. Then there's the relentless pressure to curate and maintain the perfect online self. In this digital theater, the taboo isn't merely about what you explicitly do or say. It extends to what you fail to portray, what you conspicuously leave out. Revealing too much vulnerability, admitting struggles that contradict the carefully constructed idealized persona, or simply not engaging enough with the platform's demands can all be seen as significant digital faux pas. This constant, exhausting performance breeds a pervasive sense of anxiety and a subtle form of detachment from our authentic selves, forcing us into a delicate and often self-destructive dance of self-censorship, where genuine authenticity frequently takes a back seat to algorithm-approved narratives and surface-level validation. This isn't just a matter of vanity, it's a deep-seated psychological response to the unprecedented demands of the digital stage. One of the most potent and destructive new taboos to emerge is the phenomenon of shaming. The collective moral outrage that can erupt almost instantaneously online transforms individuals into instant pariahs for perceived transgressions, often without any meaningful context, nuanced understanding, or semblance of due process. A single misstep, a hastily worded tweet taken out of context, or even an old, forgotten photo can trigger the formation of digital mobs, their judgments delivered swiftly, mercilessly, and permanently recorded for all to see. This chilling phenomenon raises profound ethical questions about justice, the possibility of forgiveness, and the fundamental human right to privacy in an era where literally everyone is a potential prosecutor, and the public square has become infinite and unforgiving. The psychological toll exacted by these unspoken digital rules is undeniably significant and often goes unnoticed until it's too late. We are constantly, almost subconsciously, negotiating between the innate human need for genuine self-expression and the omnipresent, paralyzing fear of digital backlash. We vacillate between the desire to connect deeply and the urgent need to meticulously protect our carefully constructed online image. This perpetual tension can manifest as chronic anxiety, debilitating self-doubt, and even a profound feeling of alienation from our own true identities. Our minds, which have evolved over millennia to thrive in small group interactions and intimate social settings, are now struggling immensely to adapt to the unprecedented scale, speed, and incessant scrutiny of the digital age, creating entirely new and complex forms of psychological stress that we are only just beginning to comprehend. Ironically, the very platforms explicitly designed to foster boundless connection and champion freedom of expression have, in many profound ways, inadvertently ushered in a new era of insidious conformity. The fundamental human desire for acceptance and belonging, a primal need, is now increasingly channeled and mediated through opaque algorithms and superficial metrics, creating a subtle but immensely powerful pressure to adhere strictly to the digital mainstream and its unspoken decrees. We are presented with the illusion of being free to speak our minds, yet only within the narrow, often unstated bounds of what is deemed digitally acceptable or viral. This leads to a fascinating and disturbing paradox. The more hyper-connected we become, the more we ironically risk losing our authentic voice and individual distinctiveness. What unsettling implications does this have for our collective psychological future, and how might it reshape our understanding of true freedom? However, understanding and consciously acknowledging these modern digital taboos is not merely an academic exercise. It represents the crucial first step towards navigating them with greater awareness, resilience, and genuine personal agency. It's about critically recognizing the implicit, often invisible contracts we silently enter into every time we go online, questioning their inherent validity, and daring to redefine our personal boundaries in an increasingly digitally saturated world. It represents a profound challenge to cultivate a more mindful, intentional approach to our online lives, one that deliberately prioritizes authentic connection, genuine self-respect, and meaningful interaction over superficial performance, fleeting external validation, and algorithmic obedience. Only by consciously acknowledging the existence and influence of these unspoken rules can we truly begin the vital work of reclaiming our digital autonomy and fostering a more humane online experience. The digital age, contrary to popular belief, has not erased the fundamental human need for taboos. It has merely transformed them, making them more pervasive, less explicit, and often far more insidious in their influence. The true power for individuals lies not in blindly following these unwritten rules without question, but rather in deeply understanding their complex origins, their profound psychological impact, and the subtle, often unseen ways they relentlessly shape our desires, our perceptions, and our daily interactions. As we continue to evolve at an accelerating pace alongside our ever-advancing technology, the pressing question remains for all of us: what unspoken rules will we consciously choose to uphold? Which will we bravely challenge? And how can we collectively strive to foster a more authentic, ethical, and profoundly human digital future? Consider joining us next time as we delve into the intricate ethics of artificial intelligence and its rapidly growing role in shaping the